Morning, good morning. My name is Ace. I like drawing. We're going to do a 3D project today, or continue one anyway. It is a sculpt of a character that I made up, and it's to be used for reference for a webcomic that I'm creating. It's a slow moving, ongoing project, but we're getting there, okay? Um, I'm making a webcomic, and I'm using 3D models as references for that comic to do the pages faster, set up the scenes quicker. And we are on Sculpt 3 right now. I need 6, and then I can start doing pages so we can have a little bit more variety in our art streams. I hope you had a great weekend. We're going to start a new day, a new week here on our channel of doing art. Where are we at here? We gotta get started. Okay. Had a pretty relaxing weekend. A lot of rain, but I don't really mind rain too much. Okay, I think we were working on clothing. Actually, I know we were working on clothing. Why not even say that? Here we go. All right. We're going to go ahead and just get right into it here. All right. And this is our character. It's one of the characters that are in the beginning of the scene. I am working on them by order of appearance. And this is probably my best attempt at clothing so far. Hopefully we can keep improving, keep learning. I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and I started streaming this last year off and on. I took a 6 month break, but it's been about 6 months total of streaming these projects, and this is the results that I have so far. We got a ways to go, but I like it. Yeah, we got some pockets there. We got the cargo. There is something that we need to get started on real quick. You see, hang on, my screens are a little bit wonky. Everything's wonky. Even on my streaming computer, I got some stuff that I can't get rid of for some reason. OBS crashed while I was updating, and the window is just up, and I can't do anything about it. So I have a second OBS window. I can't select my music from the taskbar. It's just playing now, so I have no control over that. I got nothing. I don't know what's happening. Okay, we're having a shaky start here, but we're gonna be all right. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide the shirt. This is what we got so far. This isn't the final product here. We're going to put more details onto this before we bake it, and that will be the final mesh. Okay. What I want to do now is there was something I wanted to do. Let's see. Okay, yeah. This is a pretty high polygon count, so we're gonna have to remesh this. But there was something else. I'm trying to remember what it was. Something I wanted to do, and I thought about it before I started while I was cooking my breakfast today. And now I don't remember what it was. What the heck? It was something really simple. Oh, right, I remember now. And I don't even have to do it, to be honest. I was just wanted to check something. I wanted to check the face orientation of the pants, which, as you can see, doesn't really matter. Why are the pants like that? Hold on, let me put the underwear on because I'm about to take the pants off. Okay, that's good. That means that everything that needs to be on the inside is inside. That's what I was looking for. None of that really mattered because I have to retopologize the pants first and then check the face orientation. But what I wanted to do was check the polygon count because if it was low enough, I would have probably just see if we could get away with not retopologizing it. That way we can get to the next steps. But there's no reason to rush. Okay, we're good. We don't have to rush this. We want these references to be the best that we can be, or they can be. Sorry, and so that way we can have something accurate to go off of when we pose them and rig them, and the art will be as good as it can be. But of course, even with the references, it's still up to me. I have to make sure that the poses aren't stiff because we're working with a character that's gonna be like that. You don't want to make it stiff. You want to have show motion, whatnot. All right, so let's get started. All right, it seems here that I've already added what I needed to add to the shirt. Let's see here. What we got going? What we got going? Yeah, we already applied the seams and whatnot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into sculpt mode. All right. Ooh, excuse me. I literally just ate, showered, so I'm still trying to get into a mode here. All right. Feel very relaxed. It's very tranquil outside. It's probably going to be more rain. I wasn't sure if I was going to be too tranquil to stream. You know what I mean? Does the weather ever do that to you? You feel like you get, when you got to do something that you can choose not to do. Of course, some things, like work. Um, you got to do it, right? I don't know, but the weather kind of is making me feel like relaxing and not really doing anything today. But actually, I didn't actually work on my art very much last week, so we got to do it this. We got to keep going here, and I think I'll be free in the mornings to do this, so we should have our normal Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday art stream this week, unless something comes up. Um, schedule and mental state allowing, we'll probably be streaming on those days. I need to move my franchise streams, or at least lock down a day for them. It's kind of hard to do two streams a day. This is a lot. It's a lot of speech and talking and concentrating. I mean, I've done it, but I don't know. Lately, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to stream every single day, but I need to lock down a solid schedule for our franchise. We're playing Shadow Hearts. That's our first franchise. I've never played it before. It's going to be very RPG focused when we do franchise playthroughs, because that is the one genre that I didn't play much, even though I like the genre. I guess I would like all genres of video games. I play all kinds of video games, but I think RPGs and sports are probably the least, and maybe even less RPG than sports, surprisingly, now that I think about it. If you count, Genesis and Nintendo and all that stuff, as the 3D era came, and I think in the beginning, like the start of fifth gen, maybe a little bit of sixth gen, I played a decent amount of sports games. Um, I wouldn't say I was a super Madden person, but I did play quite a few Maddens. I remember playing '04, maybe I don't even remember '03 to be honest. '02, uh, maybe maybe '01 and 2000. I'm not even sure to be honest, but I do remember playing NFL 2K, NBA 2K, Game Day '97 and '98 because my cousin had that, and he would always challenge me to play sports games, and of course boxing. I like combat sports, but even nowadays I kind of don't really watch them that much. Every once in a blue moon I'll catch something. Um, but during the Genesis era, of course, my cousin again, the first Madden, Techno Super Bowl, I played those. One of the baseball games, I think it was backyard baseball, Super Spike volleyball. I know that's not something that a typical sports game for city people, but I did play it. Double Dribble for the Genesis and Super Nintendo. Mutant League Football was probably my one of my favorite sports games, just because it was a little bit more than football. You can kill the other team, you can cheat, you can do all kinds of stuff, and everybody's a grotesque monster. Even the humans are a little bit, kind of macabre, but that was probably my favorite sports game on the Genesis. I did play Mutant League Hockey a little bit, but that was a little bit after the fact. That was after the shelf life of Genesis. I finally managed to play it. If you want to count Crash and the Boys, that's kind of sports oriented. I played a lot of the Kunio Kun series games unknowingly, Some of them were ported to America, and they were renamed. Like Double Dragon 2 for the Game Boy, I believe, is a Kunio-kun game in Japan, but over here it's a Double Dragon game. There was a soccer game which I also had. I noticed at the time that the sprites were the same, but you can't tell that it's supposed to be the same people. I just thought that Tecmo, I think it was Tecmo anyway, was just reusing the sprites for different games. It come to find out later, you realize that these are actually all in the same universe, even River City Ransom. But I digress. Okay, we're talking about sports games here. NHL 94, NFL Football 94. I had those games from some people gave them to me, I guess. I don't remember. Or I borrowed them, played them. Played a little bit of Blitz, NFL Blitz. I kind of like that. That's kind of like NBA Jam. That's another one, and Tournament Edition, NBA Street. Anything that's out of the ordinary, I will definitely play those. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna grab this. I don't want this to clip. That's why I'm looking for areas to unclip the shirt. We're going to have to do some minor adjustments here. But yeah, I mean, I guess I would say I like hockey. I never actually watched a hockey game, and it was probably because of the Mighty Ducks. And I knew some kids on my street were into the Mighty Ducks, so we were kind of into hockey, and that's kind of where it came from. I remember the person that let me borrow NHL Hockey '94. I remember he made his season roster because you could do that even back then in certain games anyway. He made his whole season roster, the cast of the Mighty Ducks, the characters. Like I can't even remember the name. I think Goldberg was one. Ackerman and Icebox. That's not her name, but she went by that name. The Bash Brothers, all those people. Foggy from Daredevil. He was one of the Bash Brothers, which is kind of funny. That was a long time ago, but he's still acting. It's good for him, right? But anyways, yeah, I think that might be. Oh, some fight nights, I guess. And I did play UFC on Dreamcast. So yeah, I think that was pretty much. That's way more than the 6 or 7 RPGs that I've played. Okay, that's my point. So RPGs are the least played franchise for me. I like them. I like them a lot. Just didn't really own very many of them. So our franchise playthroughs are going to be very RPG focused, but we are going to play other games as well. I just need to lock down a day for them so that way I can just get in, get get focused, get folked. That's a ultimate warrior thing. I don't know why I keep saying that. Anyway, gotta get focused on playing that on a at least once a week. We started off with that, but then as we started playing more games, that kind of fell by the wayside. I want to keep it up though. I think this is good. This is a little weird, but this will be covered. We're going to do our little, the load bearing equipment. It's going to have like a little pack back here, so that'll be covered a little bit. But I want to make sure it looks good without the load bearing equipment. Okay. Let's see here. I don't think there is. Oh, I need to get my reference out. I almost forgot to do that. We're going to need to make some pockets. 4 pockets total. 2 down here, and this is going to be a little weird because this is kind of wrinkled. And then 2 up here, and then a collar, of course. And maybe. No, this one doesn't have a name. He doesn't have a name tag on his uniform. That's interesting. Well, even with or without the name tags and the combat patches, which I don't see in some of these Vietnam pictures here. Some you do, some you don't. I'm not really sure. I wasn't there, so I can't really do this with perfect accuracy, and it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. My story is not really about the Vietnam War. That's just one of the settings. in my comic book. Hang on, I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. All right. Well, yeah. Let's start putting things on here. What I'm gonna do first is the collar. I'm gonna lock down the collar. I don't know how long I'm going to go today. I might not. I might not do the extended break today, but we will have this shirt done this week. That's for certain. All right, shirt, sculpt. I want to go to edit mode now. We're gonna go to edit mode. Oh, okay. That's what we forgot. We got to convert this to a mesh object. Convert to mesh. There. Now we can go into edit mode. We have our shirt. All right. Now we're going to start with the collar. Of course, we're going to make ourselves a basic collar here. So I'm going to start with this V-neck shape. That'll be really easy to do in edit mode. All we have to do is select the faces, and we can go about, I guess right here will be fine. And then just select all of these. And since it's kind of the same on each side, we shouldn't really have to do anything extra here. And we can probably just create, like a little staircase all the way down until they meet in the center. I think that will be best. What would be helpful if we lower our little target area here. Oh, wait, well, let me deselect those because I want to do that. Actually, no, I want to do that. I want to do that. All right, there we go. And we're just going to keep going down here. We're going to staircase it up. Uh-oh. I messed up. Okay, we're back. We were out. Now we're back. Now we're back in. And we're going to go on ahead and just delete those. I want to make sure, actually, you know what? I think we should make those a little bit wider. It's not really, there's a lot of space here. All right. I don't think in any capacity have I seen, even in real life, anyone button up the top buttons of the uniform. Very rarely will you see that. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna widen that a little bit. Uh-oh. And the best thing to do would be to just go one block in or out. Oh, why do I keep doing that? It's not a tool I use often. If I'm not, sometimes I do things the hard way, which is just selecting them individually, have the most control. I tend to go for methods that give me the most control, but this is definitely quicker. Okay, I think we can. Let's see. I want to pull back all the way and kind of get an idea. I guess that's still a little up on his neck a little bit, but and of course there is maybe we can do a little bit of that. We gotta make sure we select the exact same ones over here. It's a little bit wider. The collar is going to extend all the way out here. I'm just worried about the space in between for right now. So we'll see how that goes, okay? What I'm going to do now is I am going to delete them. I'm going to hit faces. What? X. Faces. Why is it red? What is this? Faces. All right, so I don't know what's going on here. Hang on. let's go back because I forgot something. So apparently we have an additional layer under here. There were some changes to garment tool, okay, and I think there are going to be some unforeseen consequences to our actions here. Normally when I do this, this would be gone, but it's not. There seems to be another layer below, an inner layer, if you will. Luckily for us, we can just, I think that's just a second layer. This is the only thing that we really need to delete. We can probably do the same thing down here for a little part because there's an extra flap down here where there's no buttons, but we might just leave that. It doesn't have to be like spread apart. But we have an area where right here where we can just select these, everything that's visible, and just delete it. I do not know why there's a second layer, but maybe we shouldn't thicken the mesh after we generate the clothing. So I'm just going to select all this, everything that's exposed here, and just delete it. Yeah, we're gonna have to actually we're gonna have to delete that stuff too. So I guess that's okay. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and oops. We want to shift click that because we don't want to select any more than we need. It doesn't really matter if I select the ones underneath. You're not going to see them. Oh my God. I don't like this tool. That's why I don't use it. All right, here we go. But it does help. I just got to get used to it. All right, so there. Now X faces. Okay, there. That wasn't so bad. And I think what we can do is just pull this into a straight, a straight line here instead of having it be jagged. But what I want to do is we need to merge all of these together at the center. I want to see if that works, actually. I don't know if it'll work, but that is the first thing that uh, came to mind when trying to seal this together. I guess it could work. Merge at center. Hey Vince, good morning. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be finishing or continuing our mesh here today, working on a shirt, and some new obstacles have popped up, and we're currently trying to overcome them. Well, I think we'll be all right though. How's your morning going? Hope you had a great weekend. And we are going to merge all these together. Let's see here. How about this? Oops. Merge at center. That's not what we want. No, sir. That's not what we want at all. Let's click this. Let's try to merge it right here. Okay, that was better. Now we can merge these. It's the same model you're working on with the pants and boots? Yes. Yes, I was able to recover the file and we figured it out. The pants are pretty much done. Here's the pants right here. Never mind the glowing parts. Definitely not long enough for sure. Yeah. The weather is it's making me want to relax this morning, but we're going to try to continue our progress here. Let me turn off. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think these are the best clothes I've done so far. So we're improving in that area, I think. Here's our little cargo pants. The boots are carried over from a different sculpt. And we're working on the shirt now, trying to make the shirt look more like this shirt right here. This is my reference. This is what I'm using. We gotta get 4 pockets. That's basically it, really. I mean, I'm paying attention to this. I think there's a way I can make it like kind of tight around here. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Vince. I really appreciate that. Hopefully we can continue improving. I'm learning as I'm going here. We're trying to lock down a solid workflow that I can just follow without even having to think anymore. There's a lot of stuff to commit to memory here. I think I'm at that stage, but just in case, I got some notes. As you can see, I don't know if you can see because there's the screen brightness, but there's a couple of pages of this top to bottom filled with notes. All right, that's our backup. And once we get the workflow going, if there's any problems, I could just go to what worked for me in my last two sculpts and try to fix it that way. Oh yes, yes, yeah, very cooler, much cooler today, and rain, and we have some rain too. It's been raining the past couple of days. Um, while I'm here, because this is kind of hard to do when you're playing video games. I, I wish my mods would just automatic. I don't know if they follow. They probably don't follow a lot of people that I follow because I think only one or two of them actually do art streams. But there's your shout out. BC Intron Photo. Check out his channel. Give him a follow. He does a lot of photos. He's a photographer and a lot of photo editing and touching up and things like that. That's not my area of expertise, so I can't fully explain it. But it's interesting to me because I learned that learning those type of skills actually helps with art. So one day I'm gonna take a look at it myself. I don't know if I'm actually gonna pick up a camera, but and especially setting up scenes here in Blender, I'm sure because you have your little render photo thing, and I'm sure those skills would come in handy for even this program. It's no problem, Vince. I didn't get to do my shout. I didn't get to do very many shout outs on Saturday because I was I was in the zone with Minecraft. That's my chill game and sit back and play. And I guess I could probably just try to say, hey, can you shout this person out? But yeah, I'll try to get them out more often. Okay, Merchant Center here. Utilize medical anatomy books to help with posing. Why not use basic photography for modeling? I did do that. The thing is, um, finding specific things, very specific things, is kind of hard to do. And I'm not I don't have a camera. I can't just go and do it. I mean, I've had to invest in doing it, and I kind of wasn't willing to do it. So I guess that's part of the problem. But I found a lot of photos online to try to use as just to get an idea of how the accuracy of a certain subject. And I thought that just sculpting and then just applying those skills in Blender would be more accurate because I can control exactly how the subject looks, and the exact pose and whatever the lighting and all that stuff. I just have to learn it. That's all. And it just became a new medium that now we can do. So there it is. I started off with just doing DAS 3D and just using a basic model, and I kind of like the way it turned out, but my characters, some of the anatomy was just a little bit off, so that's why I kind of lean more towards this. I have anatomy for sculptors as far as the anatomy is concerned, and that's been a great help for sculpting and my art in general. I did do some test drawings, none with these particular sculpts yet because I still have to rig them, and there's a bit of a snag that I ran into, but it's just for greater control, I guess. I can make it look like anything, and I always wanted to learn 3D because that would transfer over to animation and maybe even game dev. Those are two other things that I would like to try to do. And I learned from a game ready character, create sculpting game ready characters. So that's kind of like the method of the sculpting that I'm doing. Why? Okay, there. Why not? Why wasn't I doing that before? Hmm? Could also check stock photos and such. Not feasible for everyone, but I have a friend who does clay modeling and stop motion. She's hired me to set up photo shoots to see how people move and catch them in specific poses. Yes, I have. I've done it all. I have many. I have like about 10. No, it wouldn't even be 10 anymore, would it? It's 15 years worth of photos. But for the type of things that I want to draw, it's very, for some reason, it's very hard to find. Fine. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a skill issue. I don't know. I've been drawing all my life. I'm self-taught, but maybe there's a method that you could learn in school that would make these things trivial. I don't know. I can draw anything I want. It's just I want to make it look more just as best as it can be. I guess I'm being a perfectionist. I don't know. It works out. It's worked out. It's working out for me. I can probably show you an example. I did this on stream before my hiatus. I don't remember which month it was. I think it was in the summer, last summer. But I used, well, I'll just show you. Give me a second. I'm gonna show you something. It's not finished because I think I was having a problem with my sculpt and I wanted to fix it off stream, but when I did stream, I streamed something else. It was just me drawing, basically. This right here it's kind of a proof of concept for the type of art I want to do for my webcomic here. I used a reference for the jewelry and the jacket, but everything else was as it is, and I didn't finish the background. As you can see, I kind of just halfway painted it in, but I was more concerned about the lighting and the character. This is just a character that I made up. It doesn't even have anything. Oh, there's another one. There's a thumbnail. That wasn't meant to. All right, here we go. All right, so yeah, this is what I drew on stream a couple of months ago. This is kind of an example of my art here. Can I move it without? Can I just move it, please? Pretty please. Oh, okay. Hold on. How about this? There we go. Yeah, that is an example of my art. Now I want to see how it looks with an accurate reference. Like if I made that character, if I sculpted that character and then drew it, I want to see how it turns out. It's kind of like a self test, I guess. You know. But there it is. Here's an example, and you've seen it already because I just showed it. But here is a preview of a character that's actually in my webcomic. Of course, the background again is very basic, and I painted over the lines on this one. Okay, there's no line art here. Besides the floor, I guess I left that in. But this is a guy here. He's like a yakuza dude. That was before I started learning how to sculpt. So I had actually between those two, that the old guy right there, and the girl, the woman, those were the last two things that I drew, and those were 3 years apart. And so me sculpting all that time and then just drawing something out of the blue without any reference, it's already improving my art. So I feel like I'm at least moving in the right direction. It might not be super efficient for the comic itself, but there it is. Thanks, Vince. Trying to improve. It's pretty much what I started this channel for, was just learning how to draw on stream. Well, not learning how to draw, but just improving my own skill level on stream. I'm not sure if there are people who do that. Maybe there are. Normally, the people that I watch who do art, they pretty much they're locked into their style and they're just drawing whatever. And I guess for the most part, I'm doing the same thing, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm also trying to add to my workflow and skill set. And eventually, I'm gonna post my art somewhere. I need to start posting again. Please don't do that. It's definitely That'll definitely be a good comparison. Draw then sculpt based off the reference, then draw again based off the sculpt. A way to check progress and see how it translates from one medium to the next. You can only improve from there. I think sculpting is very, very helpful. Just having done that, it's taught me a lot. Like this right here. When I drew this angle, this third angle right here, this 3/4 view angle, and before I started sculpting, I noticed that my heads were not shaped correctly in the back. The front was good, but the back was kind of like smashed in a little bit. I don't know. I guess it's because I wasn't thinking in that in 3D. Hey, Judicious, welcome to the stream. So that was like one thing that I noticed in my drawings, and that was kind of one of the reasons why I started learning how to sculpt, just so I can, okay, I'm just drawing the third person and it's not right. There's something off about the perspective. Perspective was always like a thing of mine, where it's like I was like, okay, I mean, it could work, but it's not really working because I followed a photo that wasn't the same, it wasn't the same perspective. I was just trying to extrapolate between what I wanted and what I found on Google. And I noticed that a lot when I started doing digital art, that I was getting the same results. It was like that middle ground wasn't accurate enough between what I was doing and what I was referencing. And it was just I just needed an idea of how, whatever the subject was. Um I'm gonna do a thing one day on stream here where I'm like, oh yeah, you just here, show some old art or something. It's going to be like a redeem or something. I don't know, and I will walk you through my thought process of all my old art, because I have it all except for my very first sculpt. It was just a face carved into a sphere because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I threw that away, and I should have kept that too, because I want to really show people, anybody who might be interested, or like maybe they're not like super confident in their art. I've been there, when I was younger. At least I kind of gotten over it. My friends helped me get over that because we would just, bag on each other's art like constantly. It's kind of like the whole, I don't know. I guess you would call it bullying today, but it was like that was like our thing. It, it sounds bad, but it isn't. But yeah, almost like I said, I just shared. Did the shoot back in 2018 and edited. Look back at it last month and did a re-edit. I can see where I needed improvement in my lighting and how much I've learned in the last 7 years. I'd love to do a full reshoot just to see how much progress I've done with that same scene. Yeah, yeah. I have been interested in doing redraws. I don't want to do that for the webcomic. I want the webcomic to be as is. Like if it's good if the art is good. I mean, of course, if you draw something for that long, you're going to naturally improve. A lot of webcomics have that, but also a lot of people go back and update their art with their current skill level. I actually don't want to. I'm not interested in doing that. I want it to be, like, yes, I draw better now, but this is where I was at back then, and I want to look back and say, yeah, it's fine. Not that, there's anything wrong with people doing that. I just don't want to do it. I want you to see where I started and where I am. Okay. Why is it doing this? Do I have something else selected? Probably. Yeah, because, yeah, see that? There's something, I don't know if there's something else there, but when you click something and then you click a different point, it shouldn't be that dark. Don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, that's not supposed to be orange, white, not orange, or how was it before? Is that the same? It's a darker orange, okay? That's what I'm saying. I don't know why it's doing that. It seems like I'm selecting something that isn't those vertices, and it doesn't really matter. At least I can recognize that that's a problem. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and just bind all of those together. Judicious, I got an out of memory error yesterday, and it got me killed. And you know what? You know what's funny? I drowned, but I was not in the water at all. I was standing on a pillar that I made in my I'm designing my basement. But it was a trinket. The trinket was what killed me. I was wearing the gills, and you are fine underwater, but when you come out of water, you have your air limit. You know, like an actual fish. My intent, because I was stuttering, I was getting stuttering, and I think I don't know, there was a memory leak. I think there's a memory leak when you play long enough. I think that's the problem. I've seen that before in all the mods. If there is a way you can double check if there are any problems with mods having memory leaks, since I was playing all day yesterday, I think that's what had happened. Like something was building up more and more. So I was like, okay, let me restart. What I just logged out and then logged back in, and then I couldn't, like I had like stuck. I had lag logging in, and it just crashed after a while, and that's why I died. But it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm just saying that if that's a possible problem with a mod or somewhere, um, I wanted to bring that to your attention. I know you were probably playing with the others yesterday, but I haven't really locked down any more information from that. But that could be a problem because you know I shouldn't get an out of memory error. I have so much memory that should not be a problem. Let's see. Center there. Okay, I'm selecting something. I just don't know what it is. Center. There we go. We're going to have to go all the way around here. And then we'll move the vertices so that it's a flat plane. You know, it looks like a folded cloth and not a whatever that is, a jagged staircase, which is a redundant phrase. It's just, you know, just a jagged or just a staircase, I guess. Now I can't see that other thing here. I don't know why there are two. That's not intentional at all. Oh, I see. All right, so let me hang on. I have to restore one of those vertices and then merge them because I right now I don't have anything to merge this with. Okay, there we go. And then we can merge this here. Merge these two together. And I'm going to merge these. I'm just going to keep merging them till we get around. Do I have to do the back? No, I don't. That has a proper cloth fold, okay? I don't have to do that at all. It's just this front here that we're altering. Gonna make some alterations. Some cloth adjustments. At center. Okay, and we have that thing again. I'm gonna make another face. Another vertex, I should say, which creates another face. And we're going to merge those. Just gonna keep merging them. You know what? Let's save it. I'm sure we're fine. There isn't any issues here, but just in case, because I don't know. Sometimes Blender just crashes. I'd rather not lose this progress. Well, actually, we're not going to lose it because if I auto saved, which I don't know, I actually don't know when it auto saves. I think you can control that, but auto save saved our project from last week, so we're going to make sure that we have it saved. That way, we know for a fact that we can recover all of this. Keep merging them at the center here. Oops. Hold down shift for that. Now why? What happened there? Mm. Yeah, I have two selected. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but not every. What did I just select? Oh, you know what I did? I know what it is. I'm clicking through the body. It's selecting something on his back and then merging that. That's why it looks all jacked up when I do it. Okay. Then we're gonna keep merging these together. I think we can just merge these two together and leave the third one alone. Maybe not. It's just loose there. Okay, we'll just merge them all. Let's see if that works, huh? Did I do that on the other side? I don't think I did. Yeah, I think I got some loose ones over here too. What if I did this? There. We don't want to forget anything. All right, there it is. That's done. All right. Now, it kind of looks like a mask is there, but I don't think there is. You know what? Instead of moving that manually, how about I merge that one with this one and then move it manually? So it kind of still looks, like the pattern right here. This grid makes sense. I don't know. It's not really going to make much sense. Well, yeah, well, they'll just be triangles instead of squares. So we're going to move them until it looks like, a flat surface, not a pointed one. Trying to make them as straight as we can. I don't know if there's a easier way to do that, but manual is not so bad. Just got to move them a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just flatten these some more. And I may have to pull these up because it should be completely straight and connect with the collar right like that. So I might have to just pull the whole side up. Uh-oh. I don't know what I grabbed, but hold on, let's control Z some of that so we can see our last thing here. I may have grabbed something on his back and then pulled that. We don't want to do that on the back of his shirt. I undid it, so it's not going to be there now. But I just want to make sure. Let's see here. Pull this up some. Just want to. I want this to be a straight line between the two areas here, top and the bottom. We have a lot of vertices to move here because of the front and the back of the mesh here curving like that. There's a third edge that we removed and kind of merged into one. Maybe even a fourth if you count the back, but just gonna try to get going here. All right, so we're going to try to get it as straight as possible. I'm gonna push these back some. Pull these up. And besides the dimension here, it looks like it's almost even. Think about right here is where it starts to have the largest angle gradient. I'm just gonna just straighten up a little bit more. Is this, could this have helped me here? No, we're on edit mode, so okay. I just wanted to see because I don't remember using symmetrical the mirror x axis mirror in edit mode. I wanted to make sure that wasn't a thing because that would have saved us some time. Yeah, I wondered about that death. The server seemed to maintain pretty well all day, but then we had, sorry about that. But then we had those two rapid crashes. Nothing in the log show a mem leak on the server side, but I'm sure the large amount of playing for an extended time may have taxed it. Yeah, if I had seen that coming, I would have. And the thing is, I had an inner tube on around my waist that floats you to the top. So even if I had jumped in the water and logged out, I would have died anyway. The only thing that would have saved me is having the totems of undying in my hand, but I didn't expect to die. I was just gonna log out and then log back in. But when I tried to log back in, it wouldn't. Nothing would load in, and I was like, "Well, I guess I'm dead again." Okay, but yeah, I was in the safety of my own home. I was not in any danger. It was just I should have taken the gill off before I logged out. I have to look at those trinkets some more. Apparently, there's a way you can increase your slots. That would be really cool because those trinkets are actually. I actually like that mod. That mod's pretty cool. You can get a little bit of everything from it. They're very very useful for going on adventures. uh, I've just been looking. Apparently, you can create those. I guess that's what you were talking about with the moonstone. I thought you meant the block, the moonstone block, but um, I when I logged off yesterday, I looked at a list of all the ones. No, actually, before I logged off, I looked in JEI and I saw the other trinkets. I was like, wow, these are pretty cool. Mm, yeah, I'm trying to decide if I should move this back or move the rest of this up. I think I could probably get away with moving it back. It doesn't have to be super neat because this guy is he's in the field, so his clothing isn't going to be perfect. Just trying to grab the right vertices here, and I hope I didn't select anything from all the way over here. Everything looks fine, I guess. It doesn't really matter if I did or not. It's just one vertex, but we're just trying to do the best that we can here. Okay, my basement is. I'm trying to focus on my basement so I can put all the stuff in it. That way, I won't have to worry about sorting it on stream or ever again in the future. I just need some. I just need to finish my basement for drawers. But those sponges are superb. Man, I need all those sponges. That's gonna make my job so much easier. Man, it was, even though it took me a while because I had to go and find some slime. And okay, we got a hole here. Yes, we do. I'm gonna try to merge it with this one. I found the slime, the sky slime didn't work. I couldn't convert that, so I had to find some dough and some lime dye, and I made the slime that way. And yeah, that was good. That was a good recipe in a pinch. Merge at the center. Organizing, got to clean out the garage so I can fix and insulate the drywall to turn it into my new studio. Yeah, with things like that, it's good to get it done as soon as possible because I feel like there's a bit of a mental anguish when you're like kind of like mentally stewing with a project, an upcoming project. Just plan it, execute it without hesitation. That's the best way. And I mean, I'm just talking about a game here, but for this, I mean, I try not to, I don't want to procrastinate with this stuff. Sometimes I am just not up for sculpting, and I had that last week actually. I was like, there was some when I wasn't streaming it. I couldn't stream it on Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. But when I finally did get some free time, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break from this for a bit. And then the next day, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break for this some more. And if you're not careful, that can just keep snowballing. Yeah, money and time. Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't really have much a studio, so I can't really speak on that. Let me see here. But I mean, just 1 hour, right? I think if you try to spare like the smallest amount of time towards it, that eventually you can still keep making progress. 40 minutes, maybe maybe move one box. What's in that box? Do I need it? Can I move it over here? Slowly pick away at it. I don't know. I'm no expert on that, but just spitballing here. Let's see here. My next project will be this month. I'm gonna order some stuff for so I can start working out again. I'm gonna set a gym up in my apartment here, like a little home gym, and work that into my schedule. That's what I want. That's gonna be my next project. Everything else is pretty, for me, it's going okay. I'm doing okay. But I don't want to wait until the summer. I was gonna wait till the summer. So you know what? Why not just do it as soon as I can? Okay, that doesn't look so bad. I think we could start making the collar. Yeah. Object mode and then sculpt mode. I should actually do the collar in edit mode. Or I could do a mask. It'll be quicker. I just gotta concentrate on making one side nice and neat, and the other side will be nice and neat as well. Let's see. Yeah, that's very, very pixelated. Try to fill this in a little bit. Can't select everything. All right, you know what? I'm thinking about doing what we just did for this and then just doing that for the collar instead. Because we have more control in edit mode. The mask would have been a little bit faster, but I need to draw it way out here to get any straight lines, I think. Or you know what? I could just draw it in, right? And then just control it in edit mode. I guess that could be an idea. It's a very 70s collar. Maybe not that thick. Can I just fill this in? there's already some asymmetrical form here, I think, because I did not do these in a mirror. I don't think I can do them in the mirror, but they weren't done in the with any mirror modifier or anything like that. So they're not exactly mimicking each other, but those are very, very small details. I don't even think they'll be noticeable. I can kind of see it like this area right here and this maybe are not exactly the same. Not that they have to be. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to try to make, you know what? Yeah, I might just stick with the mask for now. Once we raise it, then I can probably go into edit mode and straighten it out some more. I guess that could be an option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make the shape of a collar, and then we'll mask and extract it out and try to make it look like, a folded cloth. That's the idea behind this. We're probably going to have to smooth out this seam here. I don't think in these clothing templates do they have a collar or something on them. Wait, maybe on the tunic? I don't know. No, maybe not. I don't know. I have to look at it again. I didn't want to do the tunic because I never got the tunic to work. And as you can see, we selected more than we needed to here. Not that it would have mattered, as long as we don't manipulate it and we're good. Let's see. I'm going to try to just do this here. It's close enough. I mean, it looks not straight, but we can fix that. We're going to fix it. Can inflate this. We're going to have to go around because there's some areas here that were not filled in. I don't think I need to go that far. I'm only concerned about inflating the outside of this here. Let me see. Uh-oh. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, hold on. Before I get too far into this, everyone check out Judicious's channel. He made his own Minecraft pack where he's continuously working on it. I beta tested it on my channel, so if you've seen that, then that's his pack. You've seen me a little bit of it. It's a very fun pack if you like Minecraft and building. I suggest trying that pack out. Also, he plays a lot of survival games like Aska, Bellwright, Valheim. Is there another one? I guess Conan and Ark. I don't know if he streamed those particularly, but the ones I named definitely. So check out Judicious channel. We are. Oh no, we got something down here. Let me just erase that. And there we go. Just trying to circle around here. My collar that I'm referencing is a little bit bigger, but we can stretch it, I guess. That's good enough. All right, let me see. Now we'll just invert it, right? And I think we can just grab the move tool and just move it. Or, sorry, grab the grab tool. Select the grab tool, however you want to say it. It's kind of just, can I just pull? Yeah, I can just pull. And we can pull it out as much, just make it real beefy and then kind of make it fold. Actually, you know what? Maybe we can just adjust the shape here, bring it out even further, right? And it kind of looks like a sweater or like a polo shirt, but we're gonna make the flap. I probably should have masked a flap all the way down here, but we can do that next. Let's see here. Can probably shape it to look more like a collar right now. All right. Looking here. It doesn't have to be too neat because these areas right here are probably, some of them might be covered by the straps of the load bearing equipment here that he's gonna have. I'm just gonna move this up some because it's kind of collapsing in on itself. Grab this and okay, maybe we can just move that back. I don't know why that's happening there. Oh, I guess it's fine. Well, maybe not just right there. Let's try to decrease the radius and move this up. Son of a building block. All right, so got a little lump there, and I think I can fix that. Just not here because it's not selected in the. I'm seeing some darkness there, so I think I can't get that because it's not masked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to concentrate on the collar itself. Did not mask everything out, but that's okay. At least it looks like the cloth is folded around his collar like it should be. As close as we can get it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So Alt M. There's a little part of it. Now we can go ahead and go in here and move that little lump there. Try to move it away. That way it doesn't look like that. Maybe we can grab this and fold it back. Let me increase the radius so we can fold more of it. Come there. Yeah, that's a little better. That's what I want right there. It's more like it. It's closer to the goal I was going for. All right, I'm gonna move around some. Oop, that's a little bit too much. That was the strength of our smoothing brush. We want to make sure that we don't warp what we've done here. So we're gonna decrease that to about 200. I can leave it there. I just want to make this less sharp. There we go. Maybe this too. Maybe we can grab it and move it. Actually, you know what? Let me back all the way up. Just a little bit. Need a little bit more under here, but I think it'll be fine. It's not like we're gonna animate his collar or anything, but I just want to see that there is something there. Maybe I can take the draw sharp brush and strengthen that edge a little bit. As soon as I find it, there it is. And we definitely want to smooth out that seam there. There's no seam on the collar. Hey, 99, welcome to the stream. We made a collar for our shirt. And yes, there we are. This is what we got so far. I was talking about I started off talking about my art. Actually, no, I started off talking about the franchise playthrough scheduling. Okay. I need to lock down a day for that. And I was saying that I like all kinds of games, but I think the two genres I played the least were probably sports and RPGs, and I think I played more sports than RPG. And then I listed off all the sports games that I played, and I think in a previous stream, like maybe months ago, we already concluded there was about 6 or 7 RPGs that I played total. Definitely less than sports, and that the franchise playthroughs will be a little bit more RPG focused as a result. I just got to find a day that I'm okay with doing it. And then we were talking about art. and I showed some previous before and after pictures of my art before sculpting and my alt art while I'm still learning sculpting, and some of the process and the my logic for learning 3D art and doing it in certain ways and things like that. And then we discussed a little bit of Minecraft. That's it. Ready to play some sports games. I've been putting all sports and fighting games for the card. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, fighting games. Yeah, we like fighting games over here. I don't know when I will stream it, but I would like to stream some Street Fighter 6. I'm not very good at it, but because I'm just a diamond player, but I think that if I really wanted to, I could get to a high rank. I can't justify putting that much time in the game instead of my art. So that's the only reason why I don't do it. I would rather put that time in my art. Um, but I can play it casually. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to see me play some fighting games, I can do that. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna use this clay strip brush to get rid of those seams. We're not gonna remesh it, but I think I can cover them and then try to smooth them out. Remeshing would help, but I'm not gonna do that because I think it would mess it up. Darn. I was actually watching some Tekken 8. It's on 8, right? Yeah, I was watching some Tekken 8 yesterday. Apparently there's some big major change that people were just up in arms about, and yeah, some people were talking about quitting and all that. Just real doom and gloom on the side of fighting games for Tekken 8. But I did see some Anna gameplay. She looks pretty decent. She has like a gun now that can convert from a rocket launcher to like a little gun, little SMG, I guess. I don't know what kind of gun it is, but it's like a morphing gun that she can use. She can swing it like a mallet and hit you with it. She can shoot the rock. She can it can extend into a rocket launcher and she can then fire it. And then there's like a smaller compact version that she can shoot you in the chest with it. The training dummy character, I haven't seen that character yet. It's mostly just been Anna's, Kazuya's, what's her name? Reina, I think. King, Heihachi. The usual people. Yoshimitsu. I like Yoshimitsu personally. I did play some Kazuya back in the day, but it's been a while. I've only played the only Tekkens I haven't played were the first one and Tekken 7. I came in Tekken 2. That was like my first PlayStation 1 game. When I finally got my PlayStation for Christmas back in the 90s. I think it was 98, so it had already been out for a while. Um Tekken 2 was my first game. And then I knew someone who had Tekken 3 and Tekken 4, so on and so forth. I actually had Tekken 5 for PSP. I don't know where I got it. I think somebody gave it to me, but it was Dark Resurrection. I played a little bit of Tekken 6. Um, I know we played Tekken 6 also, but Tekken 7 I missed out on. I like Tekken. Tekken is my that was my first 3D fighting game, and it always has like I feel like it has a special place in my fighting game history. I just haven't played it in a long time. Let me see. We gotta smooth out them seals there. I got the platinum and all but 8. I didn't buy it. Yeah, I mean 8 looks fun. It was just I don't know. Like I said, I'd be playing it casually and it's kind of I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like I can't justify just getting it in just for the AI. I like playing other people these days. Ever since Street Fighter 5, I only played fighting games online. Street Fighter 4 was the last. No, not Street Fighter 4. It was one of the Blaz Blues, I think it was. One of the Blaz Blues. Um what was the I don't even remember the name. It was the one after Calamity Trigger, I think. I played that one with friends and the CPU. That was probably the last game I really just played the CPU with. After that, as I started watching more fighting game tournaments, and I'm kind of like drawn to like what people how people can learn the game, in a competitive setting. So I try to learn that way. I try to do the combos that I see in tournaments and whatnot. What is this? What is this? That's not right. And just apply it and just to see if I can do some of that stuff. So I've only been playing it online, playing fighting games online since Street Fighter Five. And yeah, it's I feel like it's a waste of money for me nowadays to just play it for anything else. So I did get six because I was, it seemed like I don't know, I like the idea of six, but there are some things that I don't like about Street Fighter Six that kind of, I don't even really want to play it casually that much these days because, like I said, I'd rather just learn. I'd rather put that time towards the art. I'm gonna get it once they're done updating it and I have all the DLC. I'm done buying fighter packs. Yeah, I never buy fighter packs. I'm good on that. I never got too heavy into Tekken. Mortal Kombat was my fighting game of choice, and then Bloody Roar. Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that's another one. I had Mortal Kombat X. I didn't even play that online. Um, but yeah, I was heavy into Mortal Kombat for a while, but I did not play 11 or MK1. I watched them though. I watched people play them, and they look fun. It's just I don't want to play them. I'm just not really. I don't really want to play them. But yeah, I still consider myself a Mortal Kombat fan. I just have not bought them in years. Let me see. I think in MK9 that was the last one that I played, and that was again offline casual play. But I was playing Kung Lao. That was my guy, Kung Lao. I like Kung Lao. I like his whole lore. He's a very arrogant fighter. Like he's almost as good as Liu Kang, but he thinks he's better, and he always like it always like ends up being his downfall in the end. He's super arrogant. He's like Vegeta, but not like evil. Well, at least if you know anything about the story, you know he becomes a revenant because he dies. But yeah, that was my guy. And then let me see. I think in X, I actually did like Liu Kang. I never actually played him. I was learning Kano, and then for some reason I just stopped playing it. I think it may have been because I started playing I like Minecraft for the first time, and I just never went back. So there that is. I miss Bloody Roar so much. Yeah, Bloody Roar 1, maybe 2. Those were really good, especially 1. I liked Hugo. I think when the demo came out, I was playing Fox for a bit, but I think I like Hugo more. Um, oh, 11, Mortal Kombat 11. Uh, Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 11. I think I was kind of intrigued by Spawn because I was heavy into Spawn back in the day. I'm trying to think of a character that stood out to me in 11. At first, it was Noob Saibot, but um, I was never really into Noob Saibot like that. But he looked pretty good in 11. The original Killer Instinct was the fighting game I remember playing a lot over MK1. I was watching a video on the crazy unlock sequence in MK1 for yeah, I've heard about that Floyd thing. I heard a lot of people were having trouble beating him, but the latest the newest Killer Instinct was actually really good. I don't know why it doesn't have a sequel. I used to watch people play that too, and that was very fun to watch. It's very fast paced. It's just like it was, but you can see the original Killer Instinct in it. Hisako looked interesting. TJ combo. I think one of the Saber Wolves. I'm not too keen on the characters. I remember them from the first one, and I know that they're in the new one. But Hisako, probably the newest Killer Instinct character that I actually remember. New Noob is great. I don't know about MK1 Noob. I did see Chaos Reigns. I saw someone play through that. My the I would say the finale of the original MK1 story, not the original as in Sega Genesis, but the one that just came out before the DLC. That was nuts. Like they were just combining fighters together and then just sending them out. So you were getting you know like female Johnny Cage mixed with Sub Zero, and then and the names were funny. I was like, what is going on? It was like it was actually chaos. It was more chaos than Chaos Reigns actually. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, just watch the ending where they kind of they redo the sequence of Armageddon where they had to run up to the top of the pyramid and fight Blaze to get to turn into a god. They did that part again because it's kind of like they reset the time or whatever, but the same events are happening just differently. At least check the ending out if you ever get a chance, because it's like you'll see like the most like random versions of other characters from other timelines just coming in and they all try to stop you. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But they don't really do anything with that. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna get rid of this without remeshing it. Oh, I know exactly how I'm gonna get rid of it. I'll just apologize over that. Female Johnny, yeah, yeah. I can't remember them because it was fresh in my mind at the time. I remembered some of the combinations because they were just so crazy. But actually, I can't think of any right now. I think what they did was they mixed Kano and Sonya together. So I think she had the eye. I think I'm remembering that correctly. But it was like the most crazy combinations of characters. And they actually had their own move set. I was actually surprised that they actually, made completely different characters that you can't play as, and they actually gave them a new set of moves or whatever that aren't actually in the game. Because Kano is not in he's not a playable character in this one. He's a cameo, which is like their version. Just think Marvel versus Capcom 1 where you pick your now it's a little bit different, but you pick your two teams that you can switch out, your two characters that you can switch out, and then an assist. And the assists are completely standalone. You can't pick them. Like you could pick Jubilee, I think in MK1, or I'm sorry, not MK1, Marvel's Capcom 1, but she's not playable. It's like that. They have some pretty interesting cameo fighters like Sonya, Jax, Kano, even Shujinko, which was at one point one of my favorite characters. He's like a blue mage. He's like their version of a blue mage, and which I like blue mages, and they made Bo Raicho like an old Chinese lady. She's much better in my opinion. Like Bo Raicho, he's like, oh no, big fat disgusting guy. He has the attacks, he has the puke, he has the fart. Things that people just like giving fat people, right? But she's more like the woman from Kung Fu Hustle. She's more like that, with the cigarette smoke and the flip flop. She has that. It's like, and she also has like these crazy martial arts moves too. So she's all like that. You're saying Darkstalkers makes me immediately think of Marvel's Capcom and Capcom versus Tatsunoko SNK. Darkstalkers was actually one of my favorite fighting games, but they're probably never going to bring that back again. I actually like that more than Street Fighter. I like Dimitri, Lilith, and there was another one. It's been a while since I played it. The last one I played was on PSP. I want to say Bishamon, and that's probably it. I don't remember all the characters. I remember the characters. I just don't remember if I actually main. Oh, BB Hood. That was right. That was the other one. Samurai Showdown was pretty good too. I was into Jubei. Jubei was my main in that. I like Ukyo, but I couldn't really do much with him. You can't block with Ukyo, but he has like these crazy moves. But Jubei is pretty strong. I think some people we might even call him OP. Jubei was really easy for me to pick up, so I stuck with him. Yeah, we're going to just have to remesh, not remesh, but to go on ahead and fix that in the ret topology. Wait, actually, maybe I can remesh it. Let's see. I don't know. I tried to do that with the pants and it ruined them. We don't have a lot of polygons here, so yeah, I'm just not going to do that. Yeah, I think yeah, I think it was because I was just logged in too long. That's my hypothesis. I'm just gonna have to when I start seeing problems, I'm just gonna have to log all the way out and re start the entire app. Not just log out and then log back in because that's what I thought would fix it, but no, I'm just gonna have to just exit all out and then come back in. It was like the cache wasn't clearing, and I don't have any entities around me because I already pacified the Guardian Temple. That was part of what I did yesterday, just to prepare myself to go over there and clear it. There shouldn't be any Guardian spawning now, so it wasn't an entity thing. I was just I don't know. Maybe a cache wasn't clearing somewhere. Let's see here. There was a game for Nintendo DX or some handheld Project X Zone. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. I haven't played it, but I remember it. That combined Capcom universe versus along with God Eater and a couple other franchises that had Darkstalker, Street Fighter, Devil May Cry, etc. I think that was Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Yeah, you had it right. I'm pretty sure that was it. I um I saw a little bit of that. I think I may have played it. Someone may have had it back in the day, and I played it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that was the one. I didn't play X Zone though, so it could be that. Oh, this was a new one, so yeah, then it's probably X Zone. I was also pretty big on Capcom versus SNK 2 specifically. I have SNK 1, but yeah, I played that a lot too. That was actually really fun. For a long time, they kept reusing that Morrigan sprite. It was the same sprite from Darkstalkers 3 that they used for years and years and years. They had it in all the Darkstalkers, of course. They had it in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 1. Capcom versus SNK 2 was the same exact sprite. And that was interesting because they had some unique sprites for that game. So they just took the game the sprite from Darkstalkers 3 and put it in there. I think up until Marvel vs. Capcom 3 they stopped using that sprite. And that was like 2011. So before 2011 that sprite just kept getting used over and over again. Doc Hack is another franchise that will be someday in the future. As soon as I lock down a day for those, we're gonna continue. I might just do it either today or tomorrow and just say screw it. I'll just do it 2 streams a day, even though I kind of don't like doing that. I like winding down, at the end of my day, but and that's not really a wind down unless I don't know. I guess Minecraft's pretty chill, even though I'm talking the entire time. But yeah, hmm. I don't want to change my art streams at all. So I mean, I think they're in a good place. So I'm just gonna have to fit that franchise in. And I think maybe Friday and Saturday will probably be for more long form games like Minecraft, of course, games that don't have an ending. Those are really easy to just lose yourself in, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, but I think we're okay. I mean, this is a little weird. Yeah, longer games you just want to play. Yeah. Um, but yes, I fully intend to continue Shadow Hearts. We are going to do it. Let me just fold this down some. I don't know. That seems a little too thin. Maybe we can thicken it a little bit. I think my radius is the problem. But yeah, Darkstalkers, that was my jam back in the day. That's the type of stuff I like, macabre things. So when I see that, and a fighting game about monster archetypes, it sounds like something up my alley. Which is kind of weird. Well, I know why I didn't get Killer Instinct. Well, actually, no. Why didn't I get Killer Instinct? I don't know. And I think that's free to play too. You can just get it and it'll just rotate the characters. I don't know if they still do that actually. Yeah, Tuesday nights. Yeah, I was doing it on Tuesday, but these last few Tuesdays I haven't been able to do that. I've been busy typically on Tuesdays, and I don't feel like really doing anything after that, so I haven't been doing it. But maybe Wednesday night. I don't know. I have to see. I should just, yeah, I should probably just do it. No, I don't feel like doing it today. Monday night's hard. I remember when I did do Shadow Hearts on Monday, a couple of Mondays, and that was a little difficult. It's kind of weird starting off the week like that. The two streams. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to burn myself out of streaming. It's not that serious. Like we do this for fun. Uh, I mainly wanted to do this for streaming because, or on stream because I do this anyway. When time permits, I normally do my art stuff in the morning. Maybe instead of an all day Minecraft, you do some, take a couple hour breaks, and then other games after. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Saturday would be because I can do that on Saturday, and Saturday would be um it would be a good day to do it. Or Sunday. I would have streamed this Sunday, but I felt like I shouldn't, so I didn't. Because I don't mind streaming on the weekends at all. Because that's when I have all my free time is on the weekends. So yeah, that'd be incredibly easy for me to do on a weekend. I just didn't. I didn't feel like streaming yesterday, so I didn't do it. But I'll figure it out. Because we have our co-op streams on Thursday, so I can't. I don't want to do it on Thursday. Well, I could do it on Thursday, but I mean, it would have to be before that stream. And again, that's another two stream thing. I'm not really sure about Thursday. I could do it Friday. Friday's open. But if I really want to work on something like say in Minecraft, then I'll probably end up streaming that. But yeah, well, like I said, I'll figure it out. I ain't even gonna worry about it because it's not really that big of a deal. I think the collar's okay for now. We have something there, and we can when we do our greater details like the secondary, tertiary, and micro details. That's when we flesh out all the rest of the stuff. We got a pretty good base here for the pants. We just got to get the shirt that way. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the flap that comes down all the way down here, and for that I need the draw brush. Let's see. Crease sharp, draw sharp. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, wasn't I supposed to like bolster these edges here with the draw sharp brush, and I kind of just got totally sidetracked from doing that and started adjusting the collar again. Whoops. Okay, we don't want mirror there because this is going to be on just one side, and that's the problem right there. It's not. Let's try to strengthen it. See if that works. I think it might be a little too thick though. I mean, it is a pretty big flap. Yeah. Oh, about right there is where I want to stop and then come down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the brush with a stabilized stroke. That way we can get a straighter line. I don't want to freehand it because it might actually get a little misshapen. That's it right there. That's the wrong way. You got to hold down control. There we go. That'll give you a straighter line just by activating that. You're going to pull back some. In reality, it should start coming down about right here, but we're just going to extend it a little bit. It doesn't have to be super accurate. I could bolster the collar instead and make the collar extend this way a little bit. But that's still a little too much, but it's okay. Where are my pre-sharp draw? No, I'm looking for a clay strip because I want to kind of fill that little dip out there a little bit. I'm gonna smooth it now. Okay, there we go. Hmm. There's a little bump here. I'm gonna smooth that out a little bit. And this shouldn't really be super baggy, but I'm gonna leave it. It's gonna be less noticeable because he's gonna have a belt. He's gonna have a strap around here and straps here. So we're gonna have to form the shirt around that when we get those on. I think we can get to that this week, but we are a little bit closer to completing the clothes, and then we can start all the back end stuff that I was originally doing off stream because I was still learning it, which is UV and wraps and all that stuff. I gotta get my notes ready for that. That way we can just flow chart the whole thing. But I have a pretty good. I mean, I can probably do the baking already. I'm still have that from memory, but it's always a point where we're spending so much time in one area that the area that we just learned is starting to slowly get a little inaccurate. So, but we're going to have it all committed to memory in time here. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, the pockets. We should I do the pockets or should I worry about the sleeves here? I think we can do the pockets. Those would be easy to do. And we're going to do those with the mask. We're going to need 4 pockets here, or 2 here, 2 down here, just like this shirt right there. And then we can go on to the sleeves. I'm looking for the mask. That's right. That's what kind of mask is this? Base set paint. Okay, I don't know what that is. That's new. I recently updated my blender. Actually, I think I did it during the stream, and we got all kinds of new stuff here. So I don't know what most of the stuff's for. It's a bit risky doing that because you don't know what could be changed, and it might mess with your workflow. I think there was a little bit of an example of that last week. We got it all under control. Actually, I had to reinstall my add-ons too, so it's a good thing that we weren't doing red topology during that time because that would have been a little bit of a hiccup for us. Also, mask is up here. Why did they put mask up here and down here? But it doesn't matter. But not the brushes is what I was going to say, but it's okay. I think I'm over it. So also we want to go ahead and just turn on the symmetry here for the x-axis. That way we can get ourselves some pockets. Hmm. Oh. And we're just gonna just trace that around, fill it in. And you know what? We could do the bottom pockets too at the same time, since it's just, we're just raising that area. These are very large pockets, by the way. And I think they might be a little too high, but they look right. They actually look like they were supposed to look on this reference. Maybe we can shift and erase some of the top there. I not really sure about this erase because it looks like, it's like faded. Why don't I just do that instead and then just bring them down manually? Because erase doesn't really work properly for some reason. Also, we went back too far. We don't have symmetry turned back on, so we're going to go ahead and fix that. Then I feel like that's the same spot, but I think it's good. I want to make sure this is straight down here. We can always adjust the size later, actually, when we extract, or sorry, when we move the masked area, we can change the size then. How about right here? I gotta check the other side because apparently, it's for some reason symmetry doesn't isn't working perfectly on each side, and it could be the way the shirt formed, even though it looks like it mirrored each side. But there seem to be minor differences, like right there, that the mask isn't really like touching those areas. Oh, okay, well that worked fine. All right, I still think the top pocket's a little bit too big. It doesn't have to be. Oh my god, it doesn't have to be super accurate, but just accurate enough. About that. Half of this is going to be flat, so I mean, look the other side here. Okay, still looks quite large, but we're going to go with this, I think. And this shirt's bunched up. Is it bunched up around his waist? Let me see here. Can I? Yeah, here's another example of symmetry not at work here. All right. Now I'm going to go on ahead and get the grab tool, increase the radius. Still got the symmetry turned on. And we're going to just pull those pockets out. Trying to find a decent decent angle to where I could just push them in one direction. We can get the bottom too. Just ever so slightly. There's like a little fold in here. It kind of gives it a little bit of a dimension. I think that's okay. Now I'm going to do the flaps. The shirt's really simple. You know, we're almost done with it. I'm not going to worry about the name tape or the patches because that's not something that's consistent in all my references. So I mean, if I decide to leave them to do them, I'll just draw them in myself. It's a really simple patch. The patch that I've chosen, it's just it's a shield that's all black. That's it. And I think that's fifth group if I remember correctly. All right, so we're gonna go on ahead and make the flap like so. That's gonna be like it's gonna come down to about a third, I think. Not so much half, like I said earlier, but it's more like a third of the pocket, somewhere around there. We're gonna do the other pocket too while we're at it. I kind of can't see. I kind of missed this, but I kind of can't see where the pocket ends right here. That's okay. This part is going to be hidden behind a belt, so I might not be able to get to the LB here today. We're going to have a. It's going to be a little bit shorter. I don't. I'm pretty sure that I won't be back for after the break, so we're probably just going to end it in about 10-15 minutes here. Got some, and I'll come back tomorrow morning, and we're gonna go on ahead and continue with the LBE, and then that's basically it. We'll be done with the clothes then. We'll be completely done with the clothing, and it'll be UV and baking. So I gotta have my notes ready for that, just to make sure that everything is my ducks are all the way in a row, and we can do that smoothly. It's actually a really easy process. It's just a lot of little menu. It's a lot of menu action basically. Oh wait, no, we can't go to UV and unwrapping yet. We have to do the retopology and then we go over. So it'll be more of that actually. I probably won't stream all of that. I'll whatever we can fit in on. I'm assuming Wednesday. By Wednesday, we'll be on that part. I'll be working on all of that off stream. You've already seen as much retopology as we can, either of us can stand. I'm sure. Okay. It's a very tedious process. It's no different from doing the body, but it will be done. Hopefully, and then next week we'll go on with the back end stuff. All right, and the coloring and all that. We know whatever I can show coloring. I think I'll just paint. I think I can paint bucket the base color, and we won't be coloring anything in the midsection. There's no point. You're never going to see that in the webcomic. But the face and the color zones and all that stuff. We'll get to that, and then the eyes and the hair, and then we're going to try to solve our rigging issues on stream. Okay, once we get past that, I'm gonna finish all the rigging for the other two, and then we're gonna start moving on to more important characters in the story. And they're characters that I enjoyed writing and drawing, so I'm looking forward to it. Okay, gonna be there soon, very soon. I can't wait to start doing the pages because we're going to start finalizing the art for the pages because we're going to try to make it look as great as possible. I think I'm up for it. I'm up to the task. All right, yeah, we missed a little part there, but we can fix that. Let's see. You haven't even seen the main characters yet, and they're probably the most The main character is probably the most boring character that I have. All the other characters that I've drawn probably have more than the main character, but you know, I'm confident in the story, so don't worry. I'm just talking about design wise. He's not. It's like I said, these are college students, the main characters, and they stumble upon a secret government project. It's a world government project that they use to save their terminally ill friend. That's like the premise of the story. So, you know, they're going to have all these fantastical elements surrounding them, but they themselves are pretty um, unremarkable, I would say. They have a lot of plain clothes designs, and on top of that, you know, the setting starts in the 1970s. So I mean, you're not going to see, you know, any modern fashion in there, but that shouldn't be too hard to find because there's plenty of references I can draw upon from Google. Let's see. Oh, I got this. 99. I got this. I'm not gonna worry about like sculpting a desk or a chair. I'll probably just find some free assets and then just let scenes up that way. But you know, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. That'll be completely, you know, that's not really part of the process that I've learned. That is a completely different thing. I don't know how I'm going to set up a scene in Blender, but I'll figure it out. I only know how to sculpt a human and rig it for the most part. That's as far as I went as far as learning Blender. I didn't try to do the donut. I just went straight for the hard stuff immediately. Which I don't know. You know, I mean, if you're in that headspace, if you really want to learn it and you don't mind the time that you're gonna have to put into it, then I'd say go for it. But you'll probably get more out of the donut tutorials because they'll actually teach you the basics of Blender. But I jumped in the deep end. I don't know if I would recommend it. If you want to learn something that bad, then go for it. Like if you know, these were the hardest tutorials to find. You know, people, because I guess that's the thing that everyone wants to try to do. So people will more likely charge for you know, human sculpts and whatnot, game ready sculpts, because it covers a lot of areas in professions. You know, you got your video games, you got animation, which I guess would go hand in hand, right? And you know, lots of people um, make money off of that, so they're going to charge for it. It's very hard to find a free tutorial for humans, but it's possible. And then there's the idea of like, oh, which ones? You know, I chose a game ready one, you know, because I feel like that kind of encompasses a little bit of everything. I tested some of my animations in Unity. They didn't have any clothes, but you know, it seemed to work. You know, I didn't notice any deformities or anything. You know, mocap animations, that's very easy to apply onto a rigged thing. I rigged manually though. We're doing an automatic rig because rigging manually takes a very long time. It's more time than actually sculpting itself. That's why I'm trying my best to get Rigify to work because I know it's ahead if it doesn't. And I have no idea when I'm going, how long it's going to take for me to get to the actual pages if I have to rig it manually because it's a very long. I'm like, I'm going to have to concentrate big time. I could probably fill a notebook with the amount of stuff that I have to do for doing it manually. That's why I didn't do Tattles V2. Well, I want to see if I could do the same thing, but with an automatic rig. I know how to rig it automatically. It's just the things that I want it to do. I need to make sure that they work, and I haven't been able to get them to work yet. At least not completely. There's some things just, um, and I think I have the problem locked down after a bit of you know pondering my orb. I pondered my orb. I postulated all the possibilities, and I think it's because of the way I put the bones on the character. Because certain things work on certain characters but not others. So I'm assuming that's the reason. The eye, for me, it's everything around the eyes. My last sculpt, I couldn't open his mouth for some reason. But my very first sculpt, the eyes worked and the mouth. It was just, what was it that didn't work? It wasn't all the, because you can like stretch every part of the face, any part that you want, really, for maximum. One of my goals in my comic is to not have. Well, we already took care of the same face syndrome. Everyone has a distinct look. Okay, an idealistic but a distinct look. All right, I'm not gonna, purposefully make them look, grotesque or anything like that. But um, emotion, I don't want them to be like plastic. I want them, I actually want to show emotion because I think that would improve my art in general, being able to draw, facial expressions and whatnot. And that's something that I don't see a lot of in comics in general, really. Even professional comic book artists, sometimes they are a little like little plastic, I don't know, if somebody's getting grabbed up as a oh, or they go too far. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what they're referencing, if they're referencing at all, but I don't want to do that. I want to have them look more natural. So there it is. I could do, because apparently a program takes care of all the VTube stuff. So all I would need to do if I wanted to go that route is to just make a VTube avatar, and then apparently you just up. I mean, there's an app apparently. I don't know how it works, but I think there's an app that you can just put the thing on, and then as long as it's rigged correctly, it should work. I was thinking about doing that just for fun. Maybe like I don't know. I know people who have that in the channel redeem sometimes. Some people are all VTube, which is fine. I don't see myself as a VTuber, but maybe I can hit a button every once in a while and just like transform into like a max headroom version of me. Actually don't have any ideas for an avatar. I'm sorry, but I mean it wouldn't be too hard to think of something, because I think as far as ideas and making something up on the spot, that's probably like my biggest strength. It's really easy for me to write a story or something, or think of an idea. I'm not stressing that at all. It's just I don't have an idea and I haven't really put any thought into it. So it's either too much or too little expression most of the time. Yeah. You only be like, and like he's shooting, which is fun. That's actually really fun to draw, like people like over expressing, because I don't know, like it's very comic booky, but that's something that isn't done as much anymore these days, from what I've seen anyway. I use Tattles because I couldn't think of anything else for my PNG. I was thinking about, even though haven't really played anything Mario yet, but like a Wario, like me fused with Wario, like me with like the nose. I have a mustache and I just have like a hat with A on it. That's kind of, I was like, man, I don't even play Mario like that. I'll play it. I probably will play a Mario game someday, but that's not really like the style of the channel. It was completely out of place. Like, I don't know, War Ace. Maybe I can make my OC Dread, but I don't see myself as my OC. I don't really do self inserts like that. That's not my style. I don't want to insert myself into any of my work. I usually, when I make a story or something, it has nothing to do with me. Like there's nothing in common with any of my characters. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really have any ideas with that, but I could do it. It's within my skill now to do it once I get the rigging working. I got Unreal Engine downloaded. I'm gonna start testing when I finish my sculpt study, which is like the best anatomy I can do, the best retopology, and I'm going to learn how to add shape keys and animate it. That's on my second sculpt. I will show that on stream, the progress with it once I get the clothes on, because it's a woman and the anatomy is 100% correct. Okay, it's 100% correct because um, I never took the sculpt that far and I wanted to do it. So there it is. But so once I get the clothes on and then lock the clothes on because they're going to stay on, I'll start showing it. You know, I'll show the progress of that every now and then, because they're going to be coming. Like I said, these characters are being sculpted in order of appearance, and it's a lot of dudes because they're in the middle of, you know, Vietnam War, and you know they didn't have a lot of women in the field back then, but women characters are coming. They won't be as in detail as the sculpt study I'm doing offline, but you know they are there. Okay, they're in the main focus of the story. This is the prologue. I definitely don't see myself as Tattles. He's a blank slate pro tag. I I didn't even really think about it that way, to be honest. The you know when you explained it on stream, that's the first I've ever heard of Tattles. I remember the other OCs that you had that I don't know if they'll ever return, um, but I remember them. Maybe no, I wouldn't. I don't know. Like I said, I would have to play. I would have to play 11 regularly in my stream. Those days are coming, but um, I could do like a the my characters in the game as a an avatar, you know. Oh, okay, yeah. I remember some of the ones, but we're going to stop it right here, okay? I have to go. All right. So, I want to thank you for stopping by and hanging out. I really appreciate y'all coming by and you know, chatting, lurking, whatever the case may be. Appreciate it all. I will be back tomorrow morning. We're going to continue this. I'm going to continue the pockets, so we're going to get past that. You'll probably see the LBE tomorrow and some retopology, okay? Depending on how much I can do when I am free after, okay? So take care. Have a